All right, everyone. Welcome to today's 2022 MAC Football Championship pregame web conference, we'll call it. Want to first start out with the East Division champion Ohio Bobcats, led by head coach Tim Albin, and then we'll have student athletes Curtis Rourke and Bryce Houston to follow. Coach, if you could just start off before we take questions here with and we lost your video.
Sorry.
It's okay.
That's my fault.
It's okay. If you could just start off with an opening statement, congrats again on winning the title and just on the upcoming game. And then again, for the media members, if you use the raise hand feature, we'll get to your questions.
You bet. The Ohio University football program, very excited with the opportunity to play in this game. I want to give congratulations to Jason Candle, his staff, and his football team, and their success. From our football team, and on behalf of Ohio University, Ms. Julie Cromer, President Hugh Sherman, my entire staff, how grateful we are and very excited about getting back to Ford Field. With that, I'll open up for questions.
Sure. The first question we have is from Kyle Rowland. Kyle, we'll have to. Oh, I see. Go ahead and ask your question.
Hey, Tim. Whoa, sorry about the crazy shadows. I'm from the Toledo Blade. Just curious, obviously you guys struggled last season and then turned it around this year. What has been kind of the impetus for the turnaround?
I think it's starts with leadership of the gentlemen that are on this call. It's a process that started Monday after our last game on Friday after Thanksgiving. Excuse me for the date. That's when we started this climb back. We had enormous amount of leadership, a great off season, and but I got to end it with I said this at MAC Media Days that for our program to take the next step, Curtis Rourke's going to have to take the next step, and boy did he ever. Hagen Missouri's started every game for us at right guard. He started as a true freshman in 2017. He needs to be the best guard in our league. Key Thompson has battled through, missed 2 seasons with injury, getting him back. Point being is the leadership piece of this, and then the players. And that's how you win games. Make no mistake about it. Coaching is way overrated. It's about the players, and they deserve all the credit.
Thank you.
All right, next we'll go to Chris Vanini. Chris, your microphone's open.
Hi, Tim. Congrats on the success this season. This program has obviously been in this game a number of times over the last 15 years. And the program still has not been able to get that elusive championship. It's been a while. What would it mean? What does it mean to be back here, and what would a championship mean to Ohio?
Yeah, this is about our journey and this football team. It's not about a destination. I stress to our guys all the time about enjoying every day. Be the best version of you today, and let's not worry about tomorrow. And as you piece together and you start putting together wins, these opportunities are in front of us, and so let's embrace it and put our best foot forward and keep that mentality of I've said it all season, we're a one game at a time outfit, and let's focus on being the best we can today and play our best 4 quarters on game day, which is this Saturday. That's our approach. I want to throw in I've been here, this is my 18th season, and this program has either won or finished runner up in the MAC East 8 times, I believe, 9 times maybe, out of 18. That's pretty impressive. And that's not counting, if we were head to head and the team beat us, I didn't count. That's not counting second. So my point is, this football team and this roster is built with 4 and 5 and some 6-year guys that chose Ohio for their academics. We've got a great thing going here as a university, and We got a great staff, and that's one of the reasons they chose Ohio is to play in this game. And so here we are. That's my take on it. I want to, the 1968 team, the Coach Hess era will never be duplicated. He has an unbelievable track record. And we respect that history, embrace it, but this is about our journey.
Next, we'll go to Alex Shear. Alex, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. First off, congratulations on getting to Detroit and winning Coach of the Year. It's a huge honor. Excited to see you guys this weekend. Wanted to ask about CJ Harris and his preparation. Obviously, losing Curtis for the rest of the year, not ideal. What does that conversation between Curtis and CJ look like? What's that conversation between you and CJ look like preparing for this weekend?
Yeah, I'll share. I want to share a powerful story with you that I think should answer every question. I got off the elevator to go to the meeting rooms on Sunday, to the two position meetings. Okay, my first stop's the quarterback room, and there's a window in the door shut. All the quarterbacks are in there, including Curtis, with his crutches, sitting in his normal spot, and then CJ's right there, and then Parker Navarro is also in there, along with the other two quarterbacks. Coach Esferning is not in my eyesight; he's up on the grease board. And before I opened the door, I could see every quarterback was head down, writing, and then in unison. No, they didn't know I was standing there. In unison, every head up at the grease board, back down, taking notes. As Curtis's crutches were up against the wall, and Parker Navarro, who's had Tommy John surgery as he got injured in the Iowa State game, and so that's the standard here at Ohio University, and that's the love that these guys have for each other. And so I share that with you as we're business as usual. As CJ has sat in the same meeting doing the same thing all season behind Curtis, Parker who's going to go in and set, and as CJ did the same thing last year and the year before that. So I think that you get my drift of what the standard is and what the expectation is. It's next man up mentality, and whether you're injured or not injured, playing behind somebody, that's our mentality, and you have to be ready should an opportunity present itself. So I apologize for, I'm very proud as a football coach to share that with you.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Next, we have a question from Will Cunningham. Will, your microphone is open.
Coach, as everybody else said, congratulations on the award and this appearance. I wanted to ask about C.A. Bangura. Obviously, he's been in and out of the lineup a bit this season, but has looked healthier over the last couple of weeks and had a big workload against Bowling Green. So how important has he been, especially over the last few weeks, and how important is he going to be on Saturday?
Yep. I think he's had a really fine campaign this season. He has been a little battered and bruised, and we're at our best when he's at his best. As you know, there's no coach that's going to want to be one dimensional, and so having him in the game gives us our best chance not to be one dimensional. Toledo's front seven is the best in the league. And we got to find a way to establish a run game for the flow of the game. But on CA, I think that we're not surprised. I felt like I can't remember my exact words at MAC Media Days, but I did make the statement that I would think that Ohio University would have the deepest running back room in the conference. I didn't know about we'd have the best running back. a lot of things go into that. But I thought depth wise, we were strong, and knowing that he was going to be in the mix, and and thankfully it is a deep room, as we've had some really 3 and 4 running backs have been beat up throughout the course of the year. We've actually got we had to move over a linebacker to help us for depth, and so CA has this is the best he's felt all season, with the exception of the first couple of games, and I'm very excited for him and what the future holds. I know that he is very, very humbled with the award that he was presented yesterday for Freshman of the Year. We feel like it's well deserved, and for us to give us our best chance, he'll have to have a solid game this Saturday against Toledo.
Thanks, Coach.
You bet. Thank you, Al. Thank you, Will.
We have a follow-up question from Kyle Rowland.
Sorry, just a quick follow-up. You've been in the MAC for a while, so I feel like you might have a good kind of feeling on this. Seems like the conference, more so than any other league in the country, has wild swings. Teams, will go 3-9 one year, 9-3 the next. Unpredictable a lot of times at MAC Media Days on, what the final standings will be. Why do you think that is?
That's Kyle. I have been in this conference a long time, and that's a very good question. And if I wish I had I don't have an exact answer. If I did, I'd bottle it up and sell it, and not worry about coaching anymore, because it'd be worth a lot of money. But my experience tells me that the league really flows with the quarterbacks when you have a returning quarterback. And I thought last year was a perfect example. If you correct me if I'm wrong, I believe there were a lot of returning quarterbacks going into the start of the season last year. And when you have turnover, obviously as a staff, that's another situation. There wasn't a lot of that last year, but the quarterback situation, I know last season there was a lot of really experienced guys that were returning, and so you saw some of the scores every week, and then this year there's not as many returning quarterbacks. But I just think from top to bottom, our league is as competitive as any league there is out there, and the scores dictate it. Our program knows when we start league play, you throw out the records, and you better be prepared to play your best game. And do you need to do more on the road versus at home? I don't know what the records are home versus away on those type of things, but I do know that, and I will throw this last thing in, particularly conference games early, because as you know, Kyle, look at the non-conference schedule of the teams that a lot of our conference foes play, and they're playing the money game, Power 5 games, and an injury here or an injury there has a huge impact on the early conference games. And do you get those guys back? I consider myself an expert on it, because I've been here 18 seasons, and I've seen it firsthand here. I've seen it in other programs. I talk to coaches around the league, and it's a factor, because just the depth that in our conference is there's a reason why you have starters, and there's a reason why you have second team guys and so forth. And that's a long answer. My apologies, but those are important things to your question as far as how it flows from year to year.
Appreciate that.
Do we have any further questions for Coach Albin before we get to the student athletes? If so, use the raise hand feature. Probably have time for one more. All right, Coach. Looks like there's no further questions. Want to thank you for your time. We'll see you in Detroit, and best of luck to you and the Bobcats.
Thank you very much. Am I allowed to get off the call now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You guys have a blessed day. We'll see you tomorrow.
Sounds good.
All right,
Thanks,
thank you.
Coach. All right. Next up, we have quarterback Curtis Rourke from the Ohio Bobcats. Curtis, how you doing today? Thanks for joining us. If you can just start off, kind of first and foremost, I guess, congratulations on not only winning the Vern Smith Leadership Award, but Offensive Player of the Year award. I mean, just start things off with, how proud you are of this team to get to this position, to be playing for a title on Saturday. And again, for media on the call, if you have a question for Curtis, please use the raise hand feature. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm certainly grateful. I mean, it couldn't be possible, the awards that I was awarded without the rest of my team. I mean, we really bought in this year and really come together as a group. And I'm so glad that we're going to be able to play in Detroit. That was the original goal from starting from last year when we got as our regular season ended last year. So I'm glad we're here and I'm ready to keep going.
Thank you. First, we'll go back to you, Kyle. Should be good to go.
Hi, Curtis. How bittersweet is it to have just such a dream season personally and, for the team, and then for you to not be able to play in the championship game?
Oh yeah, it's definitely not something that I planned on start of the season. To be able to have such a good year, both individually as well as a team. I definitely want to be playing with the guys on Saturday, but I'm glad I'm going to be able to be there watching on the sidelines with them, nonetheless, and be able to cheer them on. So, we're in the MAC championship, and that was the goal as a group, and so I'm just happy to be there.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Eric Decker. Eric, your microphone's open.
Hey Curtis, just kind of take us through what were the initial emotions when you finally learned that you'll be out for the rest of the season, that after all this work you put in, you won't be able to try to win the championship?
Yeah, as you imagine, it wasn't great hearing that news. I think it was, a couple of days, 3 or 4 days after, I went down that I wouldn't be able to play. I kind of tore my ACL and I was going to have to get surgery. It was a lot of sadness, and just because I'm a competitive guy and I wanted to be able to compete with the team still, be able to play and finish this season because it was such an amazing season and has been so far. And so it was tough to kind of to swallow, kind of that news. But seeing the guys continue to play hard and stuff like that is just made it a lot easier for me, and I'm excited to continue to watch them ball out.
Next, we'll go to Alex Shear. Alex, go ahead. Your microphone's open.
Hey, I just wanted to say congratulations, Curtis, on everything you guys have accomplished this year and getting back to Detroit. Wanted to ask you about your brother and any conversations he's had with you as you guys are gearing up for this championship. Obviously, you're not playing, but you guys had any conversations? Obviously, he's has been quite successful in Canada. What have those conversations been like?
Yeah, he called me right after I got the news that I was going to be out for the season and stuff, and we kind of talked about it. He had a similar situation, having a great year, and then got injured and needed surgery and stuff. And so, ironically, it's a lot of similar seasons that we've had, and so he's been through the surgery and stuff, and so he was just, being that big brother and just helping me out with how to deal with it mentally, physically, and all stuff like that. And then going into this week, it was. Called me like any other week just to ask about the defense and ask about the thoughts going ahead, just what the game plan is and stuff like that. And just talking football like normal. And so he's been really helpful. Couldn't ask for more.
And second follow-up here with CJ Harris, obviously starting this weekend. What have you kind of done to help him with prep? And what have you seen from him that, sets your expectations a lot higher for this weekend?
Yeah, CJ is a great player. He's been in the system for a long time and one of the smarter guys that I've met and stuff. And so I know he's gonna be fine. He proved that against Bowling Green and stuff. And for me personally, I'm just preparing like I would for any other game, and we're kind of just talking like we normally would and stuff, and bouncing ideas off each other, or helping each other out with that stuff. And so not much has changed, but I'm there, and he knows that I'm there if he needs to ask any questions, whether that's on game day before or anything like that. it's what we did all season. Which I talked to him when I was playing and stuff because he's been in the system a long time, and so I'm grateful I'm able to do that for him as he balls out this season.
And if you have a question for Curtis, please use the raise hand feature. Will Cunningham, you can go ahead. Your microphone's open.
Curtis, a play you guys ran a decent amount, especially in short yardage situations when you were playing, was that option. And obviously ran that a bunch of times with CJ against Bowling Green. What have you liked that you've seen from him running that play, and how helpful was it to sort of already have that in the playbook and have CJ be able to come in and run it?
Yeah, I mean, the last 10 years and stuff, we've been really good option team and stuff, and so it's always good to have that in the back of our playbook. And CJ is just a really good athlete. He can throw the ball, he can run the ball, and so it not only just benefits our offense, but it raises it to another level when he's able to make plays with his feet and run that play really well. And so it's kind of more like a game plan thing, and we'll see. How he can use it this week and just use his legs in general and stuff like that, as well as throwing the ball, because he's good at both. So
thank you.
Yep.
All right. Do we have any more questions for Curtis before we get over to Bryce Houston? All right, Curtis, once again, congrats on your accomplishments and awards and, helping get your team here to Detroit. We look forward to see you out here, and thanks again for your time.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Yep. Next, we'll hear from linebacker Bryce Houston. There you are, Bryce. We got you. Hey, thanks for joining us today. Congrats on the East Division title and earning a trip here to Detroit, Ford Field. Bryce, if you could just outline again, like I asked Curtis, I don't know if you heard or not, but just what it means to you, all the hard work and everything to be playing for a title here on Saturday, and then we'll get to some questions.
Yeah, it's just overall really exciting, getting an opportunity to play for this community, play for this town. We've been working all season, all off season, all summer for this opportunity, and we've been just kind of breaking down on MAC champs, making sure that we know that this is our end goal and this is what we want to achieve for this team. And it is just very exciting to be able to have the opportunity this Saturday.
Again, if you have a question for Bryce, if you could use the raise hand feature. Kyle, we will go to you. Should be good to go. Yep.
Hi, Bryce. Just curious, your thoughts on DeQuan Finn, when he's 100% with his legs, just how dangerous is he? How dynamic is he as a quarterback?
Yeah, of course, he's really dynamic with his legs. He finds a way to find open receivers downfield, even though they're using his legs. We're just trying to focus on, making sure we're able to contain him, make sure we push the back pocket back into him, so therefore he doesn't have a lot of scramble lanes. And we have also had a lot of practice because CJ is a very mobile quarterback. We were able to see him in the offseason and the spring practice with them and stuff like that. So it gives a good comparison to what we'll be able to see on Saturday.
And I know their teams, they're a little different, obviously, but does you draw on anything from last year's game when you played Toledo, or is that irrelevant?
Yeah, we made sure to study on how the draw will be utilized in the game plan for them probably. And of course, we look back at last year's film and see what was able to damage us from last year and what we can be able to correct. And we're making sure that in practice, we're able to implement those and make sure we have a defense to be able to stop those type of draws and QB runs.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Will Cunningham. Will, go ahead when you're ready.
Bryce, obviously the defense had a bit of a tough start to the season, but really over the last 6 games has become one of the big strengths of this team. What has it been like to be a part of that turnaround over the second half of the season?
Yeah, it's been really humbling, a really happy experience to know that we've had an opportunity to play in big games, and we know that we've just shot ourselves in the foot a little bit earlier in the season. A couple, minuses and mental errors, stuff like that. We know that we can be able to correct, and we knew once we were able to correct those that we would be a really, really explosive and a dominant defense. And those have definitely started to been minimized in MAC play. As MAC play started to go on, we still continue to grow on how we can be able to be more dominant and make sure we minus those mistakes. And it's been proving very successful as we've had a really successful season for the past late half for our defense. And we have some really good players too, all around, top down. I would say we have an extremely, extremely talented defense.
And with a new defensive coordinator this season, how much do you think that played into sort of maybe taking some time to really get into the flow of things on defense?
Yeah. Coach Spence has been an amazing influence for our defense. He came in this spring and he made sure to, make sure we were comfortable with him and he was comfortable with us. During the summer, we've worked really hard in fall camp, making sure we implement all his drills and everything that he's able to do for us. And it's been proven really successful. Coach, he's continued to prove that how we are the Mutts, how nobody has a pedigree, on how everyone's just from all different places around the world, around this country, and how we all just come together and we play as a family, we play as a group. And we've really, really stuck by that, having that Mutt mentality of we're some dogs and we're always going to play for one another.
Next, Alex, you can go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, Bryce, congrats on getting to Detroit. It's really exciting for you guys. Excited to see you guys play. Talk about a little bit more about the defense. And I mean, you guys have pitched incredible games. I mean, Akron has been the one game that you guys gave up more than 24 points on the season. Can you talk about just the mentality of the last 4 games? You go from 24 points to 21 points to 18 points to 14. Have you guys really just had any goals in mind on are you hoping to pitch a shutout at some point? Can you kind of talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, of course, pitching shutouts is something everyone always talks about, but we've really focused on stopping the run. That's something that we've really, really tried to make sure we stop and dominate the line of scrimmage. And we've seen that if you stop the run, we're able to make teams more one-dimensional. And we have a very good pass rush game. We all love to rush the quarterback, and we've done really well at it. So we know if we are able to stop the run and make them a one-dimensional team, then we're able to get more pressure on the quarterback, and it's proved more successful in our defense.
Absolutely. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Okay, we have one final question from Aiden Crowley. Aiden, your microphone's open.
Thank you. Hey, Bryce. Aiden Crowley with WOUB. We spoke with Coach a little bit about the turnaround from last season to this season. I just wanted to kind of pick your brain as a leader in that locker room. What was that like kind of ending last season and the journey it took to get to Detroit for you personally?
Yeah, it was a crazy turnaround, and it all starts with Coach Alvin. He did a great job with making sure that he knew that this wasn't our standard, and he wanted us to all come together after last season. After that final game, he kind of spoke on it. After the final game, he told us we have a meeting on Monday, and everyone that's in attend, and everyone that's not do not. And that was really powerful. And we knew that we're just sinking all the ships, and this is who we're going to go with, and this is what we're going to do. And there was no looking back. And this is not what we knew that the season we just had was nothing that we ever wanted to do ever again. Nothing, not what this program is, and this is not what we like to achieve. And we knew that this offseason needs to be completely different from last. And we knew we had to do a completely different change. And I needed to step up as a leader for the defense, and along with the whole team. And it helped a lot. And it was really successful, and it was amazing to see. And we're not done yet. We have some unfinished business with Toledo. We lost to them last year, so it should be a great game. I'm excited.
Bryce, want to thank you again.